All right. So welcome, Anne. Anne is joining us for the summit, for the Self-Care Summit, um, contributing both yoga, meditation, as well as speaker series. Also been kind enough to generously donate her creative talents to our social media as well, and making everything gorgeous and sticking in line with what we're trying to do. Welcome, Anne. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really great, actually. Yeah, I'm in a beautiful jungle in Nicaragua, so I'm really happy every day to wake up and be in the nature. And it's also really nice because I just saw the class as well online on Zoom, and it's really nice to be able to share those views and those sounds and this scenery and energy with other people around throughout the world. So yeah, it's really great. Thank you. How are you doing? Good.
Doing lovely. It's another gorgeous day in Cincinnati, and it's not too hot today, so there's a nice breeze as well as the sunshine. So I can take the opportunity to be outside when I can. And you do already have the conscious corner as a background. Tell me a little bit more about your practice and what you do there.
So the conscious corner has mainly come from the motivation that I have to make the world a better place. I think we all want it, but ever since I was a child, I had a really strong passion for creating more beauty into the world, like the way we treat other people. I've been always very sensitive. If we don't treat others well, or people are not treated well, or animals are not treated well, and I'm just very aware of that suffering. So the idea with the conscious corner is to connect people with themselves, because I understand if we are not connected with ourselves, that it's very hard to contribute things into this world. So the entrance is through yoga, meditation, conscious communication techniques, and also through the effective business model that I'm building, where I contribute through tree planting and other kinds of very cool things we're doing. So it's kind of like helping the individual people, helping them to make a positive change for themselves from their surroundings, and then also contributing to the whole through supporting reforestation and regenerative economies, basically. So yeah, that's what it's about.
Well, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate having that contribution to the Self-Care Summit. In your own journey, what has been your personal biggest struggle with self-care?
I feel that I've been always very into like helping other people. It's just my nature. I don't know, I've always been doing that, but I found it really hard. I used to struggle a lot with sensations as guilt, and even some days when I don't feel out of balance, I have it still, like the feeling that I'm not doing enough, or not giving enough, or not contributing enough, or kind of like not always being aware either on what is my part and what is other people's part. What I mean with that is that sometimes people have a strong reaction, and I would always take things personally before. So I would feel really bad if somebody looked unhappy or something. I would take that as my responsibility. So that has been really my journey, has been like understanding what part is mine and what is mine to control, and to create my energy, put my energy and create something. And when it's mine to like accept that other people are in other places, and that it's not all about me, so that if I do my best, I don't have to feel guilty, or I don't have to. But that's theory, right? So it's a daily practice, so it's always evolving, but definitely has been evolving a lot. And I think that always things keep on coming, like we're never finished, but that makes life so exciting that there is this constant progress. And that's also what I strive for with myself, with all patients, and together with the people, because if I'm not going through those things or growing through those things, it's really hard to support others that are doing it. So it's like when you are growing through that and you develop new techniques, and then some other challenges come, then you're also really, that's what makes us real and our teachings real, is to able to really share from that experience and be in that place together and listen to each other and share those experiences as well. So yeah, I'm really excited too in Summit to create this field where it's through that interactions with others that we can really create more value, rather than just being on our own. It's that interaction that's so valuable in our growing process. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's actually a very common struggle. A lot of people have a hard time taking care of others as well as themselves. As you well know, that's very much in line with the whole point of the summit. It's the self-care summit is definitely geared towards caretakers and trying to make sure that we take care of ourselves as well. So we're very excited to have you on board with all of that, and of course perfectly in line with everything. In a lot of your practice, in your personal coaching and a lot of the work that you do, you also work with a lot of women. What's the common obstacle that you see standing in their way as a recurring pattern?
Themselves. I just taught a class actually, and the theme of the class was get out of your own way. Because we have this ego voice, and I believe especially with women, also with men, but it's different types of voice. I love to work with women because I'm a woman myself, and I believe that there's a big shift happening also in the collective on like the way women are seen as just caregivers, and also that women put so much responsibilities on themselves. So what I see is that a lot of women, a lot of people, but now I'm just speaking about women for the summit, are living their life, I call it from the outside in. What I mean is that you shaped yourself according to the expectations of the surroundings, because you believe that in order to be loved and in order to receive love, you need to comply with those expectations. And then there's this constant feeling, like those feelings of guilt, like, oh, I'm not complying, I'm not doing that. And then when they want to take moves in their life, and I have been supporting people that have made some bold moves, and that's what makes me so happy if I see them do that, because we need that more. Like, we need to start taking other routes and stuff, different directions than everybody just going in the same direction, because that's what society thinks we should do. But it takes a lot of courage, and I see that it's a really, really difficult process also with myself actually, to totally choose some road that nobody else is choosing, but just because you feel that you want to choose it, and you don't have anybody showing you exactly how that needs to be done. And then if you're not really confident with yourself, which you usually aren't if you're starting something new, then all this criticism of people that are projecting their fear onto you, and they're like, oh my God, what are you going to do financially, and what are you going to do there, and what are you going to do there, that it's really hard for us then to be like, no, I trust my path, and yes, I allow myself to fail. So I believe that the guidance from shaping yourself according to expectations into feeling what you want and allowing a space where you can feel that whatever that is that you want to do, and starting to walk that path, I feel that is a recurring theme. And I feel that it's usually ourselves that are in our own way, and that if we can learn to be okay with failure and learning to be okay to fall and get back up, I think that's a really important one. Like, this road of self-discovery, self-evolvement is falling down, getting back up, trying again, and that's okay. That's better than sitting on your ass and waiting and watching everybody else doing it and not doing it yourself. So that's a very common one, and that's also what I feel that these mindfulness yoga kind of practices help to actually learn back how to feel inside, instead of just from our mind what we think, but really tuning into our body. That's, I believe, the value also of these physical practices. Yeah.
What I'm hearing a lot in that is that it's also a great deal about helping women find their voice and give them the power to actually use their voice. So
yeah.
Obviously that's a very deep resonance for me as well. So I really appreciate you bringing that expertise in as well in the daily practice, but also in your speaker series. Now, can you tell me a little bit more of what you have coming up for us during the summit?
Yes. So during the summit, I will be teaching 2 yoga classes already. And my yoga is a very, like, everybody does yoga, and yoga is everywhere. I try in my teachings to stay as close as possible to you. I want you to be your own teacher. So I'm a facilitator in my yoga practices, and I want you to really tune in with your body. So I will give you exercises, but it's not about the exercises, it's about how you are able to listen to your body and move with your body and feel what you need and practice that in a safe space. So this will be one class that's going to be on willpower and igniting the fire, and the other one's going to be on I'm not mistaken, intuition or communication, either both. I have very good classes for that. And then the yoga is going to, of course, be like focus on intentionally moving and really true through this movement feeling really empowered. And then the other, I have 2 more workshops that I have in store. One is going to be on communication, so specifically on indeed that inner and outer voice and how those two are relating. So how I speak to myself and how I take other people's words for truth, like all of those things. So really on communication, and then getting clarity inside of ourselves to actually express this through specific techniques. And then the other one, which I am really excited about actually, is one on body image, and like loving your body. I see a lot of people also in the yoga practice, like my teacher says something like, don't bring your shit to yoga mat. And what he means is like, if you come to yoga mat and you just practice in the same ways without consciousness, with the same thoughts, reinforcing the same thoughts, you're actually reinforcing your patterns instead of what is the aim of yoga, to see those patterns. So let us say you being very perfectionist and you're pushing yourself the whole time and feeling bad when it's not good enough on your yoga mat. So that is really where that consciousness component is going to come in. So that's going to be the red thread through everything, is that consciousness component and the choice you actually have the moment it becomes clear and conscious to you what you're actually doing with your own mind, with your own voice. And the body love, I'm really excited about that one, because I had a long journey in that one with a background in ballet and dance. And I think that, of course, ballet and dance is like, that's the example, of course, but I feel that it's the whole society is a reflection on that we women are so much looked at like objectified and looking at like our bodies only and making judgment on those bodies, and that we really have forgotten that our bodies are able to create life and give life, and that it's a miracle, our bodies, and to learn how to love our bodies with these practices. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one, actually. Really, really, really excited. Yeah.
So there was a lot in that. Can I add one more question? Can you tell us a little bit more about your attitude and perspective about yoga? As you said, we have a lot of different presenters. I believe we have 7 different yoga presenters through the summit. So we have daily yoga practice and meditation with each speaker. But can you tell us a little bit more about your perspective of yoga and your attitude towards yoga?
My attitude towards yoga. Yeah, my attitude towards yoga is I try to really like, I'm just myself when I'm teaching, and I love like there's a lot of space like for humor and like just a process of like, I want to create a space where everybody feels comfortable with themselves. If I'm not comfortable with myself, it's very hard. So for other people to feel comfortable. So to just create an energy and space where people can be really good as they are and exploring where they could be. So the consciousness component for me is really important in my classes, is that ability, reinforcing that ability to see our thoughts and reinforcing the connection we have with the other layers of ourselves. So our body's not just our perception might be shaped just by our thoughts, but our experience or our life, there's way more. We have different layers. Our thoughts being one, our emotions being one, our body being one, our breath being one. So to explore the different layers and to reintegrate all of those layers into the moment and creating presence with people, because I believe that through the presence and the ability to see our own thoughts, we can go out of our way, and from there, you implement intention. So one class can be on communication, another class can be on willpower and the importance of those things, so that eventually people become better in their life. So the yoga is a safe space where they can practice and just with themselves and actually learn to understand about themselves, so that they come in the real world with other people and projections and other events happening, that they understand because they know themselves, they understand what is their part and what somebody else's part. So they become more and more conscious about themselves and their reactivity and their ability to see their thoughts and what's going on, and that maybe the initial reactions they're having to events in the real world are not necessarily serving them. So really intentionally growing new skill sets on your yoga mat with yourself, learning who you are, learning to shape some structures that might be holding you back into new ways, all on the mat while having fun and exploring, and also in our life, like processing, not perfection, processing all the time. That is my viewpoint, and with awareness. So it's not for me Of course, you might get a tighter body, or you might start looking more radiant and vibrant through all that yoga, but that is not the goal of it. That is just a side effect. That's a positive side effect, but it's not the goal. The goal is that you will love and accept yourself, even if you don't feel good one day, if you don't look good one day, you know, like your perception, of course, that you still love yourself and still show up for yourself. So that was a lot. I hope that was clear.
No, I greatly appreciate you specifying. As we've been working together, as you know, though I'm now an occasional, I only occasionally currently practice yoga. I used to do a great deal, and I was more of a booty, BUTI, for those that don't know, kind of a hard and heavy, and I hated a yin class. Like, it was just not my bag. It was not what I was there for. If I was going to do that, I might as well stay home. I think it's really important for our guests of the summit to be able to understand people's perspective going into it, to find the ones that resonate most, and to be able to have the to come to the mat as best possibly prepared as they can be. So I think what you said was absolutely beautiful, and I appreciate you taking the time to explain that.
Yeah. Can I add one thing there? For
Yeah.
people who never done yoga, because I'm just picking up to it, is that I hear a lot of people say that, like, I can't do yoga, I can't do that, but they haven't really tried it. And they also don't understand. I believe there's a big misunderstanding about, if you don't like something, what is the reason that you don't like it, and that it might be actually contributing to your growth in order to expand there. So somebody who doesn't like yin yoga, for people who don't know, they're going to be also yin yoga practice in the summit, are more like these meditative practices. Why you don't like it is because it's hard for you, because you lay on your mat and it's a very slow practice, and your mind is going really fast, and you're confronted with those thoughts, and instead of shining a light on those thoughts and working with them and through them and understanding them and getting the time to actually know yourself and dive deep into yourself, you're like, oh my God, this class sucks, this teacher sucks, I'm not coming back here, I'm out. Because that's how we do it. We want to change the environment, and this is beyond our control, while it's changing within and understanding more within, that we actually grow. So know that even if you don't like your first yoga classes and it's really hard, know that through resistance you can grow immensely, and that eventually you will learn so much about yourself by doing things that are sometimes unpleasant. And learning to be with yourself during those times is really, really good. Yeah.
That's actually not what I was saying. I didn't want to go out for yin classes. For me, that's something I prefer to do at home.
Yeah.
So when I'm going out to feel the energy in the community,
yeah,
is very different. There's a time and place for every single style of yoga. If there's anything my years with it has taught me, is that, excuse me, that was a massive carpenter bee in my face. It's nothing against yin as a style. I prefer to do that at home. I don't need to be in a class with others to do that. So thank you for clarifying, because there is a vast difference. And the awesome things about the summit is that you can do it at your own pace, when you're ready, on your own timeline. So, I do greatly appreciate that clarity for people coming in. And there is a motorcycle pulling up next to me, so I'm sorry if this is ruining the audio. Just give them a second to park. My apologies. I only had a couple more questions for you. I don't want to keep it too long. I want you to be able to enjoy the glorious day on both ends. In a lot of the work that you do, you actually have a chance to work with people for an extended amount of time. You do some personal one-on-one coaching as well. What is one of your favorite success stories, either for yourself or from one of your clients in self-care?
I think generally, like for all of them, just the liberation that comes when they understand that they are not the voice in their mind, and they actually start working with that. I saw multiple things happening just from people, overcoming a fear to go somewhere, overcoming anything, like quitting addictions, quitting. Many things can happen once you understand that you are not the voice in the head. So I had multiple things for myself too, like the negative self-talk, and just stopping to do that. Like it opens up all the possibilities, because everything becomes possible. There's this from Europe, where I'm from, there's this very famous girl, and she's like a super adventurous. She's super famous. It's like in your whole of Europe. And she has this saying, and it's like, I haven't tried it before, so I can probably do it. I haven't done it before, so I can probably do it. And that's like the exact opposite what we usually think. So we haven't tried it and we put ourselves onto fear. And I just seen people trying a lot of new things because they simply understand that they are not their fear. So basically anything is possible. All successes is possible. Yeah.
Love hearing that. That is so powerful. Now, very last question, and I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot because I don't think I actually warned you I was going to ask you about this, but do you have any special promotions or anything that you would like to offer our summit guests, particularly for your own practice outside of the summit?
Can you repeat that?
Do you have any special promotions or any offerings from anybody that finds you through the summit? I know some of our speakers discounted sessions or...
I haven't done it before, but yeah, sure. I'm really into breath work and the empowerment of breath work, and I have a really powerful practice actually that I've developed. It's like a combination. It's just something that through my inspiration came to me. It's probably already existed, but it's a specific way where I do it. It's a combination of breath work, retention, and it's energy work, body work, and then you have like affirmations, so mind work. So it's calling in a certain state. It's only 5-minute practice, but it's super powerful, and you can do it basically every morning, and it will change the direction of the day because a lot of time we wake up and we have certain thoughts going on, and depending on the qualities of our thoughts, if we're not aware, we guide into our day. So we're kind of like directed in our day depending on what thoughts are going on or what dreams we had or what somebody said or whatever. So that's the power I believe about affirmation and starting your day intentionally, is that you take the time to feel, how do I want to feel today? Okay, you start calling that in the same way you call in. I have a really funny with my students today. I actually told them, like, we have so much creative energy to create disaster scenarios. We can use that same creativity we have to create all the disaster scenarios into dream scenarios, so that we can do by directing our energy intentionally. So that's something I would definitely send out to everybody who signs up or wants to sign up after this. And we can discuss more promotions soon. So yeah, definitely there's a lot to share.
Well, that's not exactly where I was going, but I greatly appreciate the addition. It sounds fantastic, and I know that I personally want to know, and I want more. So I'd be more than happy to sign up myself because I am most curious. When you give me a 5-minute tool, no matter what I've got going on, I can make that happen.
That's awesome. Yeah, 5 minutes of breathing every morning is super powerful. Just 5-minute conscious breathing with conscious intention setting is super powerful. So yes, definitely.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot for the very last time. Would you be willing to give us an example on our opening day being June 21st?
Can you give me sorry.
No worries. I can't tell. I've got sun going on my screen right now, so I can't tell if you guys can see me. Would you be willing to give us an example for our opening day being June 21st?
An example of what?
Of your 5-minute tool.
Yeah. So an example is that you can call in whatever. So I have a specific one that I sent out.
I'm so sorry. Give me a quick second. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. My neighbor decided to start mowing his lawn because it is a glorious Sunday afternoon, and I can't harm him for that. So, and we were talking about trying to get you set up to do a breathwork exercise, and tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So basically for that specific breathwork exercise, you work with breath retention and a specific energy cultivating breath, which is going to call in energy into your body, is going to vitalize your body. And then you combine that with affirmations. That affirmations can be adjusted to the individual. I will do it also on the opening ceremony. I will do it for the summit, for the group that will be presented there. But we're also going to give you if you decide to come, we're going to give you the exercise so you can practice it every day, and that you can tell us what your success story is, because that's what we believe. We really, really believe that these things work. Otherwise, I wouldn't put my life and all my energy into it to really, I don't have to convince you, because if you're listening to this and you're triggered to it and you feel that something goes on, then you already know that you actually have to come. Don't be caught up in your mind that making these excuses about what money it might cost or whatever, because the investment in yourself is so important, and you like tapping into that potential for yourself and opening those doors will open any door, and the financial door is only one, but there's so much more ways to explore abundance. So that being said, I truly hope that you will be there on the 21st. But yeah, be in touch sooner, because I believe, Naomi, that we have the sale starting this week, right?
We do. We have sales starting this week, and we will have extra bonuses for people that sign up on the early bird pricing. I believe that goes through the 10th of June at this time.
Perfect. So,
and thank you so much for spending some time with me. Thank you so much for everything you're contributing. We look forward to seeing what you provide.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thank you so much all for watching, and have a beautiful Sunday or whenever you're watching. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.